Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new year, albeit about almost 2 weeks late.
We hope you are warmer than we are. It's like 40, literally 40 below, getting down to 40 below with wind chill here in Omaha.
Yeah, this weekend. It's 5 degrees right now, and we have a snow drift in front of our garage that's looks to be a good 8 to 10 inches high, if not higher. So, hey, Steve. So after the live stream, we're going to get everyone out there to clear off the driveway and hopefully not get it all blow back on us later tonight. But I'm not too confident of that.
Y'all that live in places where you get snow, you can relate to this. But when we went to bed, the driveway was clear, and when we woke up, the driveway was pretty clear, and then about 2 hours later, after the wind blowing, the driveway wasn't clear anymore, even though snow wasn't falling.
And our next door neighbor, their driveway, perfectly
totally clear.
Yeah. Us, no.
No, it's like there's a drift of a couple feet out there. I know, first world problems. But, you know.
So we're getting ready to enter a stretch where we're not going to see starting tonight above 0 temps until Tuesday morning. And I know many of the country, hey Christy, I know much of the country, Midwest in particular, is seeing that. So please stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm.
Find something fun to stream.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. We had plans to go out, and Mother Nature canceled those plans.
So we're going to get started because we have a lot to go over this week, especially since we've been gone for the last couple of weeks.
Yes, and thank you all for joining us.
Yes, thank you. So first is, if you have not heard already, Fubo increased their prices. Again, that came out Wednesday, I believe it was, maybe yesterday. Across the board, they are raising their rates by $5. Now putting the base plan at $79.99 a month, and they are also increasing their RSN fee by $1 a month, going from $10.99 to $11.99 if you are in the market for one RSN, and $13.99 to $14.99 if you are in a market that has covered by two RSNs. And the key issue here is, one of the key issues, shall I say, is that I believe it's like 95 or 98% of Fubo subscribers are in a market that has at least one RSN. So that means that now you're looking at $92 plus tax for the Fubo base plan, which is, it's expensive. And I was assuming that we were going to be seeing a price hike from Fubo at around this point, because their last one was a year ago, in January of 23, and they had just signed a new carriage deal with Nexstar, which, assuming, I've not seen the details of it, but assume that was going to mean some kind of increase for them, which they were going to pass on to us. And so the price increase is as of January 10th. So that was Wednesday. And for current Fubo subscribers, if you started your subscription on or before January 10th, your price will adjust on your next billing cycle on or after February 1st. So here in the next 3 weeks, you're going to see the price increase. Fubo stated, "Our mission is always to offer a leading package of premium sports, news, and entertainment content, plus innovative product features, while providing you with the best value. However, occasionally our programming partners raise the prices they charge us," which makes sense. "Unfortunately, we are forced to pass some of that increase on to you." And like I said, I assumed that was going to be happening after the Nexstar carriage deal that they worked out about a week or two ago. And then also additionally, the cost of the Stars add-on is also increasing by $1 to $9.99 every month from $8.99. Now, as they're saying, to soften the blow, they are promising, not doing, they're promising to make its cloud DVR unlimited in the coming months. Right now, it's at 1,000 hours, which I believe is fairly generous, and really who's going to go over that amount. But it puts them on par with YouTube TV and Hulu Live and DirecTV Stream by having that unlimited DVR feature. But as I say, it's going to be in the coming months. Now, that could be next month, it could be October. We don't know. And it would have been nice for them to say, hey, it's now, you're getting an unlimited DVR. And the other, 800-pound gorilla in the room with this is they didn't add Turner. And so all this is a price increase just for the sake of a price increase. And yes, I get that carriage agreements mean increased prices, but already at the highest price, at or near the highest tier in the space, I believe they needed to add something of value other than just, you're going to get an unlimited DVR in the coming months.
Yeah.
It's poor, in my opinion. And unfortunately, not too surprising.
Yeah. And let us know what you think about it in the comments. I think I hate it. It's very clear they're just passing on the increased carriage rates to consumers.
And it's unfortunate because I think it's a good platform. Every time we've tried it, we've tested it. I've always liked it. I prefer it to Hulu Live, DirecTV Stream. Yeah, I prefer to DirecTV Stream, but it's just clear that they just want to raise prices and not really offer value.
Yeah.
If they were to bring in Turner, okay, sure, but then that would also mean they'd likely need to get rid of some channels to make up for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's talk about another kind of unfortunate thing. We have a video that's coming out about it. I don't think it's run yet, right?
No.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Well, we have a video coming out about the fact that Amazon Prime Video on January 29th is going to start including ads in Prime Video content. If you don't want ads in your Prime Video content, you have to pay an extra $2.99 a month for that. So my guess is, most people are probably like us. We have Amazon Prime primarily for the free shipping benefits, and Prime Video is just thrown in as an extra benefit. I do like a number of their original programs. I think they're good. And I have enjoyed watching them without ads. But I'm not willing to pay $3 a month to avoid them. So anyway, there's more. We're going to be talking about that more in our video on it. But today we wanted to bring up kind of a curious correlation, and that's that Amazon announced another round of layoffs. So the senior vice president of Prime Video, Amazon's Prime Video division, announced that there was going to be layoffs this past Wednesday. And he said the reason for the layoffs was, quote, to reduce or discontinue investments in certain areas while increasing our investment and focus on content and product initiatives that will deliver the most impact. I find it interesting that they think they can do that while laying off a bunch of people. And it's curious given the inclusion of ads in Prime Video content, which will increase revenue there.
And which they say clearly is so they can reinvest into more content.
And yet, how are you? But you're also cutting jobs. It's more than 500 people. And I'm just showing you guys this chart because I think it's important to remember, in case we forgot, that Amazon's a big tech company, similar to Google and those others, Microsoft. You can see on the screen there, layoffs. So thinking why is this happening? Why are they making these cuts? Why are they putting ads in their content now? Well, during the COVID era, actually, I'm sure we all remember, everyone started streaming like crazy because we were stuck at home. It seemed like it was going to be a big boom for the tech industry. Companies like Amazon, Apple, and others were just going to make out like bandits, and it was going to issue in a new phase of life and work. And now we're starting to see contraction. Just people are going back to the way they lived and worked and played and all that sort of thing before COVID. And the big tech companies are having to reduce their expenses because they had, ramped up during the time. And I really think at a high level, that is what is happening here with Amazon. So
John brings up a good point that they're spending too much money on space, and I wouldn't really necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah, that's a very diplomatic way of putting it, John.
Yes.
We had a similar, less diplomatic conversation about where we think all that money is going. So anyway, it's just, unfortunately, I think this probably is not the last round of layoffs the tech sector is going to see, probably not at Amazon either. It's unfortunate, but, let us know what you think again if you feel any sort of way about this. Just drop a note in the comments. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next piece of news.
Yeah, and so where we feel is Fubo is really not doing its best to serve their customer. The flip side, Max came out this week with something that is benefiting us as consumers. If you're a Max subscriber, so when they launched their Bleacher Report Sports add-on package in October, which gives access to NBA, NHL, and some other games through their WBD cable networks. It was promised that we were going to have it through February, through the end of February. Well, it was reported, I believe it was New York Post reported this week, that WBD is going to be extending that past the end of February they were postulating for a couple of months at least, and they were thinking maybe even into the summer. And the trial was supposed to end at the end of February, and then going to be charged $9.99 a month fee for it. And we've used it. Actually, our son last night watched the Milwaukee Boston game and had no problems with it at all whatsoever. And we've used it a handful of times, and generally we like it. So it was supposed to end, and then it was going to be that $10 a month for the add-on. But now, with it being at least for a couple of months past that, that will be make the NCAA tournament, March Madness. They'll put that into play. Possibly the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, possibly more baseball when the season starts up for that. And they're saying it's tech integrations that they're dealing with. New York Post really didn't go into a terrible amount of detail into what that was, but it's a benefit for you if you're a Max customer, because now you get to have it for longer. I don't know if they're seeing a lack of usage of it and are using a popular time during the sports calendar year to try and get more people on it to possibly drive more signups. I don't know. That's pure speculation on my part.
Signups and ad dollars, because the more subscribers they have, the more money they can make off of advertisers.
For example, if you're a Max subscriber and you get the higher tier of Paramount Plus, that could get you most, if not all, of March Madness. And so
it's good news for college basketball fans, really, I think. I mean, and the other sports you mentioned, but I know our son has been taking advantage of the NBA games, watching those that are on Max. It's a nice benefit.
And sorry, I remember now what I was wanting to say was that this year TBS is scheduled to air the Final Four and the national championship game. So, if you have Max and you don't want a live service, you can in all likelihood watch it on Max and get it that way for free, without having to pay an extra $10 on top of that to get that. And I know for us, we'll be canceling Sling here in the next few weeks, given that football season is nearing over, and we would just stick with our Max subscription to get March Madness.
So, and I just have to ask, John, sorry, maybe everyone else knows this, but does that mean that the championship game and the Final Four will not be aired on a major
TBS
free network?
Yeah, TBS.
But will it be simulcast on CBS or anything
last
like
year,
that?
Last year was CBS.
Okay,
$20,
so you can't watch that if you don't have either cable or Max.
Yes.
Or a live TV streaming
Yes.
service that carries TBS.
Yes.
So I think that's actually a nice segue into our next item, which is about the, put it up on the screen here for you guys, the exclusive NFL playoff game that is streaming on Peacock this weekend. So it'll be between the Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. And this will be interesting to see what happens with viewership, and the news is out that you will only be able to watch it on your local station if you live in Kansas City or in Miami. Otherwise, if you don't have Peacock, you are not going to be able to watch the game live. Sorry, yeah. So there was actually and the reason I say it's a nice segue is because I think there are more people that would probably watch the Final Four and might be surprised to learn, oh, wait, I have to pay to see that? There is a Kansas City Chiefs player named Charles Omenihu who made his feelings known on Twitter because of this. And let's see if I can show you his tweet and what's in here. So there you see it. Us playing on Peacock only is insane, I won't lie. And it kind of, people went back and forth. Kansas City fans went back and forth. And like I said, just curious what you all think about this. Or you think it's a bad move? Does it not bother you? I don't like it personally. I feel like when you get to the playoffs, you ought to let everyone ought to be able to see that. And to me, it makes more sense because you're going to have more eyeballs if it's free,
and
you can conceivably make more ad revenue off it.
And if you're watching us, you're obviously interested in streaming, so you likely already knew this. I know we have mentioned it in previous videos, but so many people aren't.
Yeah. And
so you go to Twitter the day of, and people are going to be complaining, and very arguably justifiably so. And it reminds me of a Twitter exchange that I was reading Monday night and Tuesday after the Michigan-Washington game, and it was I think it was Stuart Mandel was tweeting about how the ratings for before ESPN got the CFP, when the championship games and the final games were on ABC, the viewership was about 1.5 million to 2 million viewers higher than on ESPN. And so it's not really surprising because not everyone has cable, not everyone has a live streaming service, but they may have an antenna or whatever, and they can get it on their local stations. So it's
and it does, cost starts at $6 a month. So would you be willing to pay $6 to watch the game? And I think, what if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan who lives in Omaha? We have a lot of those people here because Omaha doesn't have an NFL team. There are a lot of Chiefs fans here. They're locally, even people are going to have Peacock to watch the game, and I'm sure there's going to be people that are upset about that. Kind of reminds me of when what Big Ten was it? Ohio State that played exclusively on Peacock, and that went all the way to their state legislature with people getting that upset about not being able to see the game for free. So
and I think a lot of people, John, are going to be in that spot of potentially canceling Amazon Prime, especially if they have Prime Video or. For that, if they don't want to deal with ads. We personally do a lot of shopping on Amazon, so it wouldn't cause us to cancel it. But outside of the few videos or a few series that Nicole watches, we watch Thursday Night Football, and that's it. We really don't watch much content. And
like your comment there, Steve, just noting that he picked up Peacock for $2. In anticipation we'll drop it next week. That's really smart. I'm glad you're doing that.
And that's what we've done as well, and we're ready as well to see who's going to emerge out of this. I think it is going to take some time to see because it is getting to be too spread out, and I think we're going to get to an inflection point here soon where it's going to get too spread out, and it's going to not cannibalize, but not be good for the services because they're not going to get the numbers that they want.
Robert, we actually have Bally on here, so we'll get to that here in a second. But if any of you have a chance, was it on CNN, the article about college football that you shared with me? There was a really good article on CNN, of all places, about college football and the way the dynamics are changing right now. It was kind of a doomsday post, but if you are interested in that, go out and read it. It was really good.
Yeah, so our next topic is we just had our video this week on Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery possibly merging. Well, it seems that over the course of this week that has gone a different direction. And so they were talking, but now the New York Post has reported that Sherry Redstone, the majority owner of Paramount, is planning on selling her controlling stake in an auction to the highest bidder. Currently, Paramount Global is controlled by her. She also controls National Amusements, which I believe is the parent company of Paramount, which owns 77% of Paramount's voting shares. Selling these shares will give the new owner control over Paramount. And this obviously comes at a time where the entertainment industry is dealing with cable TV viewership declining, and a majority of streamers are struggling to achieve profitability. And Paramount's streaming service, Paramount Plus, is among those companies that are struggling to stay afloat. And this quote from Sherry Redstone, I'll read it. It's a source, sorry. I think she would prefer to sell all of it instead of just the holding company, a source close to Redstone said, noting that the talks to sell Paramount Global itself haven't yet borne fruit, but there might not be a bid out there. Paramount Global, whose movie studio is behind Mission Impossible and Transformers franchises, also in CBS, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, MTV, ended Wednesday with a market cap of just over $9.4 billion, giving National Amusement shares in the company a face value just shy of $1 billion. And then
sounds crazy that they're in trouble with all those big numbers, doesn't it? But they are.
And
they
then
have a lot of debt.
Yeah, and the Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday that Skydance, the Hollywood studio that co-produced Top Gun Maverick and Paramount, is in talks for an all-cash bid for National Amusements, with Skydance CEO David Ellison getting back from his tech tycoon father, Oracle founder Larry Ellison. So it's everything that we have read. It's in the very early stages, and so as Nicole was mentioning the debts, Redstone is casting a wider net as National Amusements faces a March deadline for a $37.5 million payment on a $175 million loan from Wells Fargo, and it may not be able to pay that, according to sources. And they're trying to also sell BET Network, it's...
I just want to throw out there that I don't know if you all, that's a lot of numbers and whatnot, but I was surprised that Skydance Studios has enough cash to even propose buying National Amusements outright in an all-cash bid. I just didn't realize that it was that profitable of a studio. So just kind of interesting. We'll see if that happens or not. I kind of feel like Sherry Redstone wants to do this. Get out, get more money, walk away, let it be someone else's problem. Yeah,
and John brings up a good point about if the Super Bowl is not going to be on live TV, then people need to tell them by not going to watch the games, and that's exactly the point. This year it's on CBS and will be on Paramount Plus, but it's where you vote with your wallet. And if people see, or if people, the powers that be see that the sports aren't driving the numbers that they want, voting with your wallet even more is going to communicate something to them. At least one would hope it would communicate something to them. And then one other point about Paramount this week is that you may have seen that Showtime rebranded, and many cable subscribers are now getting Paramount Plus for free. So as of Monday, both the ad-free streaming tier and premium cable channel are known as Paramount Plus with Showtime. Streaming subscribers have access to the linear channels, but linear subscribers will not automatically have access to the streaming service. And the cable version of Paramount Plus with Showtime will now also provide access to the series that have been previously Paramount Plus exclusives. Paramount said that they would officially rebrand Showtime's linear channel next month as Paramount Plus with Showtime. And actually, it took place on Monday. So the move will see a number of Paramount Plus shows added to the linear channel, sitting alongside Showtime originals like A Gentleman in Moscow and The Department. And among the Paramount Plus shows being added to the linear channel are Halo, Sexy Beasts, Mayor of Kingstown, and Star Trek Discovery. And so it's really looking to bring some of that all together, and have read how some cable companies are even offering this now, offering access to the Paramount Plus content through this linear channel. So it's just interesting to see, and not necessarily consolidation per se, but along those lines.
Yeah, so I think this could be confusing to people.
Yeah.
Not to you guys, because, you're watching a live stream about the streaming space. But I think to the average person, this could really get confusing.
Yes.
So if you have cable and Showtime has been part of your plan, you're now going to see it as Paramount Plus with Showtime as like the channel name in your little guide. But the content isn't going to be exactly the same so it's weird the way that I feel like the way Paramount is marketing it. They're going to have to really be clear, because it's not a 1-for-1. It's not like everything on Paramount Plus is going to be available on that channel, and it's not like if you just click on that channel you get teleported into the Paramount Plus app or anything. So it'll be curious. Like, I guess my thought is they're going to try to use it to drive signups to Paramount Plus.
Very possibly, yes.
So maybe they'll show the first couple episodes of a hit series and say, if you want to watch more, you have to sign up. Something like that. That kind of would seem what's behind it to me. So we'll move on to the last piece of news we have for today, which is about Bally Sports. Let me bring it up here. So again, New York Post reporting that Bally Sports, trying to get out of bankruptcy. And they had last month, there was an offer from Amazon to take over the streaming rights of Major League Baseball games. And we thought that influx of cash could have helped Bally stay afloat, stay operational, help with their debt issue. But now Major League Baseball has reportedly rejected a proposed $150 million deal that would have seen Amazon taking over streaming of Major League Baseball games from Bally Sports. Why would Major League Baseball reject this? Well, they said that Amazon wanted a streaming deal for more than a year. And they want the deal to be with them. Baseball does. Not, they want Amazon to do the deal with them, not with Bally. So it kind of seems like maybe Major League Baseball wants to cut Diamond out altogether and make its own deals with Amazon or Apple starting in 2025. So it'd just be something to continue to watch. I don't think it's good for Bally Sports at all.
No, it's not. And some teams, like I know NBA teams, some of the teams are going to be available. Some of the games are going to be available on their local stations. Like I read that, I believe Oklahoma City Thunder is going to have like a dozen or so games that's going to be available on some local network there. And so unfortunately, I think it's, again, very possibly leaving us as the consumers in the middle holding the bag over this issue. And our sons carry a lot of sports.
And have been like one of the few ways that people can watch all their team's games. And sure, you got to pay for it, but if you really want to follow your team, it has been good for those people. And I think it means more consolidation, which will mean less access to teams that aren't like the Yankees, or a really popular team like that.
Yeah. So it's something definitely to watch, because it's not going to be good in my opinion. And I don't want to see Amazon get more sports, but if it means that people have access or can have access, I guess that's good on one hand, but especially if you already have Amazon Prime. So.
Yeah. Definitely something to keep watching, but it feels like we're just watching the slow unraveling death of the whole RSN model.
Yeah, and it's with that and with the Fubo price increase, it really starts to beg the question of, is streaming cheaper than cable? And it really, I believe, comes down to what you watch and how you watch it. If you are someone that has to have live TV, then it's going to be a tricky situation and making sure that you are really on top of your costs. If you don't need live TV, then that, I believe, obviously opens up more opportunity to find those savings.
Right.
But again, it just requires being active. And if you're a fan of just one sport, it's easier because you can just get it for whatever you need for that season and then cancel. But if you're a fan of numerous sports, that becomes more of a challenge.
Yeah,
for sure.
Anymore these days, to me, it feels like if I try to look out long term and think, where is all of this headed? It feels like cable is just going to move from being broadcast over, coaxial cable to streamed, and it'll be the same content model where we'll arrive, but instead of using cable to get your content, you're going to use the internet and you're going to have to stream it. And just long term, unfortunately, I feel like that's where it's going. And in the interim, as if someone's watching this and you're looking at moving from cable, remember, just make sure you look at your internet plan, because especially if you're going to stream a lot, make sure you have unlimited data or that you have a high data plan. Otherwise, you could get a nasty bill.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that, as more people drop cable because they can't watch what they want to see on it, they're going to have to watch that too.
Yeah.
So, well, that's pretty much it, guys. I think we're at time. Really want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're actually going to be off the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is a tricky part of the year. This year is tricky, the first couple of months. But my 50th is next weekend, and I'm being told that that we're not doing anything next Friday. And
he hates surprises, but I have one for him. So
the following Friday, Nicole's gonna be visiting family. So y'all don't want to listen to me for half an hour, just me.
So, but we will plan to be back in February.
Yeah.
And we'll keep updated in the community on that.
Yep, and we'll be having videos out, and of course, guys, and y'all have a great weekend. If you're somewhere where it's cold, please stay warm. And I was seeing on the news last night about more tornadic activity in the southeast. Yeah. If you're in the southeast, please stay safe. Yeah. And I know the northeast is getting battered. So wherever you are, if you are experiencing any kind of weather craziness, please stay safe.
And go Cats.
Yes. Bye, guys. Have
Bye,
a great
everyone.
weekend.